Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Interface Live. My name is Emmanuel, and I will be drawing in front of you for the next hour. We're having a little bit of a special stream today since it is Sunday, and I usually stream on Saturday. There was some unforeseen events yesterday that prevented me from streaming, but today it is. So, without further delay, I guess I'm just gonna go jump right into it. Let me share my screen. All right. So, just to give you a little bit of feedback on where I am currently. So, I'm at the storyboard phase of my next chapter of my comic book, Tales from the Interface. You can see it live, the story so far, on tfti.inkorporate.com with a K. Link is in the description. And this is the next chapter, so I'm always working ahead, and I'm trying to, by the time the story, the current chapter online finishes, this one should be ready to start, as well as the next book. So the storyboard phase is a phase where you lay out kind of, I would say, the building blocks of the comic. So it's really the line work, trying to fit, the composition of the frame. So it's very rough. Usually you can see an overview here. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see, it's very high level. But still, I mean, you decide where the characters go. You kind of make. I started making sense of. It's my second pass at it, so I started to make sense of all the backgrounds, like the perspective and everything. So that's part of this. And I just actually submitted this second version to my beta reader, which is a group of friends that they just read early copies of my comics, and give me some feedback so I can spot mistakes and improve my work. And if you don't have people like that, I really highly recommend it. A special thanks to Martin, who spent more than 2 hours with me going through all the pages and trying to make this really great. So big thanks to him. And yeah, so basically, get feedback from your friends, show it to people. Don't live in a bubble, because you can't see everything by yourself. When you're very close to your project, it's very hard to to see all the problems. So get an outside eye, ask people if the story makes sense. Like just today, like I was I was reading a post by somebody who says, before you start making a comic, you should make sure that your story, that your script is as good as a novel, and all your characters have run around, have turnarounds and all that stuff. So my answer to that is, that's great, but if you're just starting out, it's too much. Start small, and ask people. So if you can't make a story that makes sense in 5 pages, don't try to make one that makes sense in 24. Just start small, because it takes less time and you can spot your mistakes faster and produce higher quality things more often. And there's always places to submit short stories if they're good enough. So, and that's how, if you go to the novel parallel, that's how Bradbury did it. That's how a lot of good authors started out. They made a ton of short stories, compiled them in a book, and that's how they started. So that's a little bit what I try to do with Tales on the Interface. Like many of the chapters are short stories that I wrote, and I wanted to illustrate them, and I used the interface as a kind of output for those. And what I'm currently working on is the backbone of these stories. So the people who watch these stories, who are they? So this is their story. So today, what I'm working on is a little bit of a background. So if you see on the top right, this is the offices of Trans-Cervical, which is the all-knowing, all-powerful company of this dystopia. And my hero that you see in pink here and his girlfriend in red, they're basically visiting this place, and they're having a bit of a trouble. So today I'm kind of working on this, and what I did is because sometimes the pages are a bit tight, and this is maybe an asset I want to reuse, so I decided to, to do it on another page, and then I would just like copy this and paste it where I need it. And one thing that I would suggest is just like ink it all and paste it directly and not touch it more than that. I feel you need to re-ink it when you do that, because unless the line work is extremely similar to the rest of your comic, well, often it will stick out like a sore thumb if your line work is so different from your pasted image than your rest of the page. So that's my 2 cents on that. Often when you can reuse asset, but it's better to retrace them. Often, just a quick example, like I'm gonna be using an image from one of my other comic, and I am gonna retrace it because I feel it's gonna merge in a lot better with the rest of the frames rather than just pasting something I already did. Okay, so beside the introduction, let me continue where I was at now. And this is fairly advanced. I'm really just trying to add any detail. I'm also thinking that this I might use this as a kind of a background for the back of the book or something like that. I don't know if it's interesting enough for that. I kind of want to sell the story. Will people be interested in my story if I show them that? I'm not sure. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna try to show you some tricks on how to deal with perspective and some easy way that I found. So as you can see, the crosses here, I'm gonna explain to you all why are there crosses here, and it's actually a very good trick, and I use it all the time. So make a new layer, take the blue, another color, and basically what you want to do is trace an X from here to here, and here to here, and here to here. And what this is going to give you is your center line. Okay, so go back to your other layer and use your other color, and then if you start from the middle, you're gonna have a center line, and you can use this center line to measure a lot of stuff. It's quick and easy. You could do it in many different ways. I just found this is the easiest to implement and to remember. And then I don't want to scrap my other layer, so I'm gonna just make another one here. So I kind of wanted to make tiles, but I wanted them to be all the same size, and of course the one on front will be bigger than the one at the bottom, right? So once you're done that, you can continue and add more. So I want to add another row, so same thing. I'm just gonna, and you can do it very wide. I mean, I can certainly do this and then find the middle of that. So it's really any square that you want to find the middle, you can use that. little trick. So I'm just gonna up, 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 and then same thing on the other side. Up, 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 up. Okay, so now that I've done this, I can go to this layer here and then trace another row. Yep, 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 yep. So when you're making comics, you want to be able to draw background. Otherwise, people will get really, they won't get the sense of where you are, and they're gonna be less invested in your story. Okay, I'm just setting up my chat here. So I'm using the restream chat, and I think that it's not exactly showing me all the streams there. Yeah, just to show me a bunch of error. You know what? I'm gonna restart that because I think I need to restart that chat thing every time, and it sucks because I remembered. Okay. Oh, yeah, all the streams are on now, so it should work. So if you have a chat, I should see it. Let me just check. All right. Okay, good. All right. Let's continue. All right. Okay. And then what's gonna happen here is that eventually you're gonna have so many of your crosses that it's gonna be impossible to see when Mara makes sense of it. So you kind of need to make a new layer too. And then precision is great, but at one point it's really not visible. So what I do is when it makes sense to me, I go and I just make a half line. I don't feel I need to make a cross, and plus, this is not a perfect system. I mean, your cross will be like a few pixels too high, a few pixels too low. So at one point, it's not going to be super precise anyway. So if you can judge the middle here, I can judge it fairly well. So I just trace the line at this point because it wouldn't really add much to be exact. People are not gonna, I hope, not gonna go in and measure with a ruler or anything. So I have my cross shape here that I kind of like. I don't need the middle anymore, so I can just use my my polyline. I think should work well for that. Pew, 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 and then delete. And then I'm gonna remove the perspective grid because I want to add some little detail. So at this point, I wonder if I should. That's a new layer. No, it's not. Okay. Because at one point, you kind of have to weigh the difference between is it worth to do a pencil versus just inking. And I'm kind of at that point here. Because I kind of inked it twice and it wasn't good, so now I'm redoing the pencil, which is frustrating. So I'm just thinking, should I do the ink now? Because I can reuse that, but it's not necessarily like something that I think people would want to buy or anything. It's not that interesting. As a poster or anything. I'm thinking maybe as a background, maybe in future pages. And I don't want to have to do it twice. That's the thing. But once I put, as I said before, once I put it on my page, I kind of need to put in that detail and re-ink. So do want this to kind of be a complete thing, a completed view of my of the offices. I don't want there to be too many details missing. I think having maybe little lights here. That's something in the world I work in. There's no sky, if you ever noticed. So the light has to be, and I'm not sure I haven't done a perfect job of this, but the light has to come from some light source. Okay. Skip one, skip one, skip one. Oh, I didn't skip it. Oh, that's why. Okay, let's try again. Here. Just trying to get some little interest, you know. Maybe like something like that. There's some small details, but sometimes it can add a lot. Probably I want to add some detail to the columns here. Let me make another layer, and then I can, I need perspective grid here. And I want it to be aligned. So maybe something like this. Something like this, okay. And then it needs to follow through on the other column. So it would be okay, this and this. This goes over like this, like this. We don't really see what's happening behind. Alright, so if you're wondering here, what's happening is that the polyline is following the perspective grid. So that's something that can be pretty useful if you use it properly. I'm afraid I'm not too good at using it yet, but something I'm keeping in mind. So they're gonna have these kind of lights here like this. I want to make them like a pointy like this, a little bit mysterious. merge that in. Okay. Something like that. So there's going to be people there, but that will depend on the scene. So. I'm gonna reuse that kind of thing here that I see just as a, let's make the whole thing more cohesive, the style. So you can see that here the perspective gets very extreme, so we're kind of at the limit of where it makes sense, and that's something you're going to find out very quickly. You start drawing, there's one point until that your points are not spaced out enough, or they need to be moved. If you know you get some very weird angle like here, it's probably because your points are not in the right position. But what you can do about that is just simply crop within where it makes visual sense. So, I mean, you could, if I were to show you, I mean, until here it makes sense. Until here it kind of makes sense. If I don't show this, it makes sense. So it just gets a little bit too much when you reach that corner here, but it is a corner. I mean, you're not seeing it too much, but it's something to, and it's very hard to plan appropriately for this. I'm having a lot of trouble with it personally. I guess you know with practice you kind of find out where those problem will be, but I don't have any recipe. Besides, you know, trying to make your points far further, like if you see my perspective grid, I mean this point is very much inside, is very close to the edge of the page, so if I had put it further, it probably would have helped the point at the bottom. Make it bigger. So this point here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but the point on the top right is very close to the side of the page. If I were to put it further, the point at the bottom here would make more sense, but probably on the other hand it would make less. So it's all a balance, and you know, just try to make the best that you can. It's, you know, you can't no, can erase that one now. All right. I want to add another line here. Probably another one too. Just adding more interest to it. And then maybe I can add like pipe here, and it goes like this. Just adds a bit of texture in the background. Nothing much really. I think it, makes it overall a better looking kind of design. And maybe just I wouldn't need this one here. Okay. So as I said, I'm not sure I'm going to reuse this for anything, unless perhaps as a reference. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to keep the perspective line just in case I need them. So just save this. And then can I duplicate this directly? Like in Photoshop you can do that. You can't really do it. Okay. So I'm gonna just copy these layers. Duplicate layers. Okay, and then I just wanna, what I'm trying to do here is create a flattened version of it. So I'm just gonna hide this, keep my perspective. I wanna take that. Sure, you can save it. And paste it here. Just make sure I'm in the right spot. Just here. There you go. So you can see from the previous version I made slight adjustments to the base of the building. But it's fairly the same thing. And it should be below here. There you go. All right. So what's missing? I don't need those anymore. And then, all right. So question is, oh yeah, I needed some additional detail here for this specific scene. So I'm just going to add that in. The window were broken. And they were being attacked. Actually, this one probably I need to. Get a little bit more extreme. There's this one dude that's gonna be catapulted like this. Yeah. I'm trying to. Oh, Willie. Let's see, he was grabbed by the leg and then. Yeah, so. He might have one leg up there and then here. And it might be a bit too big though. A little bit too big. And then I think just I have to be careful about keeping the scale of my drawing here. So there should be like one guy here, like hanging. I can imagine one of them tried to jump. A lot of them would be like running towards the stairs. Here. Maybe this. Okay. It's grabbing people or something. So these people are clearly a case where I'm gonna want to have them on a separate layer, and you know, I probably want to copy paste them. probably we want to use a. I had a truck like that once in one of my previous chapter. So I kind of need to refer it. Not that. I'm gonna turn back on my perspective grid. I need the truck here. Ooh, little crash. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. Oh my god. I hope I didn't lose too much. Sometimes when clip paint crashes, it kind of corrupts your pages. I'm not sure when it was the last time I backed all of it up. I do have the export of these pages, so if I lose the current page, it's not too bad. I would suggest if you're opening a bigger file, oh, it worked, okay, so good. That was scary. Yeah, so I was saying if when you're opening a big file, perhaps just save the one you're currently working on so that you don't accidentally overwrite or something. So what I'm gonna do here, I just want to reference this truck here. So I'm gonna take a snip, just boop, this guy here, and I'm gonna put it on my page. So copy this, and then I don't need you anymore. And then I just want to reference this truck a little bit. I'm going to put it here. Yeah. So I'm going to use another color for it. Oh, something happened to my perspective grid. It's not aligned anymore. That's unfortunate. Let's see if I can. Okay, that's pretty much it. Alright, so draw my truck. And there's only 15 minutes left to the live, this special Sunday live session. Well, if you've been listening until now, I hope you liked it. There's not much left, so I'm just gonna share some, some little things. Yeah, I hope you liked it. I do like to do this. It's great when people get something out of it. It really makes me feel like it's something that's worth doing. So I do appreciate any feedback you might have, and I read everything I get. So do feel free to chime in if you have any suggestions or comment or anything you think might make this better, or if you have any question. I also will answer questions. If you have one now, I can, but next, if you leave a comment, next live I will answer if you have a question. Besides that, I do appreciate people taking the time to check out the comics, the comic on the website. There is a new page this week, so you can check that out. Basically, there is a new page every 2 weeks, so you can go to the website and look at those. It's very fun to be able to post new pages, but it takes a lot of time, so I can only do so that there's no stop in the schedule. I can only do one every 2 weeks. Ultimate goal of this is to create a books, which I have. So there's 2 books available on the website if you'd care to see them, and this will be part of the 3rd book. So Tales from the Interface, and the way I'm planning it up to now is will be 5 books. This is the 3rd. So yeah, that's about it. What else can I say? I should write myself a little script for that, because I never quite know what to say. But basically, all the stuff that that everybody says. So if you can if you can subscribe, then that's really cool. It really warrants what I'm doing here. So I appreciate it. And I do have a Patreon, I do have a Ko-fi, so if you feel like helping the channel, helping the swag, I pay everything by myself, so if you want, it's greatly appreciated if you're in the mean to do so. Otherwise, just share it, and it helps a lot. But whatever, I just enjoy your presence. And I will continue to do this because I love making comics. One thing I found is that by doing this this is kind of like a diary of my comic, of how I do comics. So it's kind of interesting to kind of post it back with the pages when they're done. And this is what I do. So if you go to the current page on the website, you're gonna find like the videos that I did when I was making that page almost a year ago. So I think that's kind of interesting. So I just noticed that I've been I think it's my like close to my 100 video now. So I've been doing this for quite a while. So it's kind of interesting to see the journey, if you will. So if you're interested, check it out. I have a lot of videos on YouTube here. The stream is also available on Twitch, and you can even watch it on Twitter. I use something called Restream, which is it restreams. The name is not too complex. So yeah, that allows me to be able to stream my drawing in multiple social media at one time. So that's kind of nice. If you want to know more about streaming, I can also talk about that. What else can I say? I don't have much more to say, I think. I'm happy where this comic is going. As I said before, now I use multiple colors when making my storyboard, and I think it helps me a lot to make sense of the pages. And I feel like it will go faster than other chapters, so hopefully I can have this done before the end of winter, which would be really cool, because the summer is always a busy season, because there's the Montreal Comics Art Festival that happens in end of May or early June, which is really my favorite event. And although I sometimes will attend other events, this is really my go-to event. So if you do want to meet me, that's really the best place to do it. I love that event. All the people there and organizing it, they're working so hard. It's great, and it's a great setting. It's outdoors. There's they set up tent in the park. You can bring your children. It's free. Often these kind of events will you have to pay an entry fee, but this is free. I mean, it's just tents in a beautiful park. So you bring your children, you browse through the books, you get something that or nothing. You can just come and talk to and chat to the with the others that are there. There's a lot. I mean, a lot of cool people attend this. So I really suggest you do stop by. So long story short, I am planning to attend this next summer, so if I can finish my third book before that would be great. And last year I was a bit tight, so if I can, I would love to have it done before then, and then so I have time to crowdsource. This is my main way of financing the printing of the book. So I want to have like at least a couple of months before to be able to raise funds for printing. I stand by my product. I'd print it anyway, but I really appreciate people's help. And also, I think a good reason for doing it for me is that by doing it like a one shot like that, it allows me to send more books at a time, which really reduces my shipping fees, because I use a service that only ships in bulk. So if I can have like multiple orders, in different countries, that's really good. Like last year, I had people from Australia, from Great Britain, from France, from actually a lot of people from Australia. It was pretty great. I was very it's a little bit surprising because I'm not expecting that, but it was great. I mean, to think that my books are with people in Australia, that was great. There was also a gentleman from Switzerland who actually he had his face in the book, so that's so he he paid a little bit extra so he can his face can be in the book. And that I will offer that tier again, for sure. So that's something, if you're interested, that you can have. I don't know if I'm gonna offer too many spots. Last year I had 2 and 1 got filled up, but it helped a lot. So I'm certainly gonna offer it again. Look at them running, little people. Oh, look at all those lovely people. I wonder if there should be one monster outside as well. Well, I don't think so. It's fine. I like the making it very mysterious like this. And it's a long weekend, so that's great. Probably that's why I skipped yesterday's stream, because I was confused by that long weekend. I hope you're having fun, going out and enjoying your family time. We're thinking of maybe going out and picking some plums and some fruits. I think my kid loves to do that. So yeah, I think that's a reasonable amount of people. There will be more in the stairs. Yep, pretty happy with that. Yeah, so this step of the process is really kind of a cleanup. So now I'm kind of going through, because I told you I had a big talk with one of my friends who's a director, so he helped me to to think maybe about the panels, if they make sense. So that was nice. I think there was nothing really outstanding, so I might just just go through and clean up more, like this, trying to make a more final drawing. Yep. Let's do that. One thing I say often is that it's not easy to build an habit, a drawing habit. It took me so long before I started to draw every day. And then when I started, I did very slowly. I said, okay, I want to get better at drawing. I want to draw I need to draw every day, I think so. I committed to it. And I started slow. I said, okay, you know what? I need to do it. I want to do it. I need to do it, but I want to do it. So I'm going to draw 15 minutes a day. And that's all I did. Just 15 minutes. And sometimes you're gonna want to draw more, but there is something. You know what? I'm just gonna start inking that thing because I feel that it's in a good spot. And as I said sometimes, it's if your sketch is as good as your line, there's really no point in doing a pencil when you're working digitally. So I know when I'm going enough, I think, with that. And you can always rework your line. There's no problem. Why? I better stop singing that song. I'm gonna get sued. I'll take all my monetization money. I think it's crazy. I mean, like, I don't have any hopes of gaining a huge audience on YouTube, but you know what they ask of you to be able to even start to pay for your content is crazy. I mean, you need to have so many viewers to make any kind of meaningful money here. So no, I don't think it's gonna happen for me. You know what I want to do is just draw my comic, and if you like to stop by, chat a little bit, that's what I like. So. We're over time. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. I love to have you. I love to read your comment. If you're watching this after the fact, the same thing. So if you have any comment, I love to hear them. Feel free to comment. Also, the website is always there. You can always go there, read the latest version of the comic, this latest page. Beside that, I think I said everything. So next week will be Saturday. Unless something happens again, I hope not. But typically I do this every Saturday. I rarely miss my mark like that. But that's pretty much it. So I guess that's it. So have a great week, everyone. Have a great holiday, Labor Day. And I wish you the best of success in what you're trying to accomplish.